So now this is an advice which will reduce your training curve. I mean, the duration of your training. Okay. So there's a quote again for this Get a Mentor. What took them years to get can take you months if you have a mentor.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Pilot Podcast episode number 69. And yes, we are at about 69th, 70th episode, and yes, we are trying to do even more and more of those. Now Chintan is back to Mumbai, so we will be able to meet more often and we'll be able to shoot more of podcasts so that we will be able to give you more insight and information of the aviation and the thorough knowledge of in what is happening around and how it would help you in your pilot training career. All right.
Yes, and good evening, everyone. We are shooting this in the evening, and we welcome you all to watch the Pilot Podcast. And thank you for showing love in our previous episodes. So now, as I've moved to Mumbai, okay, so whenever we get time, okay, let's say even if two of us are present, we try to shoot the podcast.
Absolutely.
And whenever we three are available, we definitely shoot a podcast. So
Absolutely.
today, Nilay has a red-eye flight, so he's resting.
Yes.
And we thought like let's sit and let's do an hour of a podcast
Absolutely.
and guide students, which will help them.
Absolutely. Yes, so how is your week and month been in this monsoon season, and how have you been coping up with transitioning from Bangalore base to Mumbai base where it's always raining?
Yes, I mean Mumbai is always raining and it's surrounded by weather.
In this season,
In this season, mostly
Yeah.
there's 2 to 3 months.
Correct.
So this is, I would say, a second monsoon as I started my journey as an airline pilot. So first monsoon was there, had couple of diversions in that phase, but
Okay.
this year, luckily, yes, weather during the approach and landing was pretty okay. So I have not done any diversions as of now.
Right.
But if necessary, we'll do it in the coming months. So, if we speak about weather, mostly the flights which I have been doing, it's up north. Okay, so en route there will be some weather, but we can just circumnavigate the weather, like the thunderstorm activity and all of those things.
Correct.
But then there are some days where it's heavily pouring when you are on the approach, and that's what it's like right now. I have not
Correct.
been into any severe weather conditions as of now.
Correct.
Everything looks under control as of now, but the
Correct.
monsoon is just starting. I would say it's almost like 10-15% past. So let's see how the weather is for the next month.
Correct. This year, monsoon has set in a little earlier than earlier previous years. As I have been flying for a decade, it's like it starts in the month of June in most cases, but then this year it has started in the month of May itself. So the weather conditions, because of the global warming, of course, it is transitioning, and what it used to be earlier, the winds have become much more stronger and gusty these days. So we have to take the mitigating actions and we have to control the aircraft really well during the critical stages of flight, like for takeoff and especially for landing. So yes, weather has been nasty at times with really strong winds. Plus, whenever there have been certain changes that have been made as per the recent DGCA circulars because of the, certain incidents that have happened in the past. So the changes are what we do on ground before the flight is basically checking the place of weather at place of departure, checking place of checking the weather at place of destination at the estimated time of arrival, as well as en route weather. All of this we know the information, before the departure. So accordingly, we take our extra fuel
Hmm.
and all of those things. So we do utmost, preparation as well as take precaution in
Hmm.
order to avoid that weather. But as per the recent circulars, if there have been really, really bad weather where you cannot proceed to your destination and there is no other way out, you can even wait there, hold. If you have fuel, then wait till the weather improves. If you don't
Hmm.
have, then land at the nearest suitable airport. So it is not necessary that you must proceed
Proceed.
in the
Hmm.
bad weather to your
Hmm.
destination just because that is your destination. So if there has been, any kind of situation wherein as passengers
Hmm.
they're flying and all of a sudden in en route, if there has been diversion, that can be because of weather, because there are times when there is a squall line which is really, really long,
Hmm.
and there is no way to go through it, and you may have to wait till it passes. So that time these things may have to be done. So yeah, these are the recent changes which have happened in the circular of monsoon circular issued by DGCA.
Yes, and when we speak about the monsoon, which has arrived early this year, so during that time, Nilay was in Bangalore, and we were hanging out, and we were discussing the same thing, that the winds are very strong, okay, with gust, and and he loved the weather in Bangalore, and he was like, "Wow,
Absolutely,
this is
it's
so good."
amazing.
Yes, and it was raining at that time as well. So that is for sure that monsoon has arrived early this year. So now, when we speak about monsoon, like what all steps or precautions you take if you compare it with a normal flying during summers?
So in monsoon, first of all, because of the lot of heavy showers and winds, which is a very I can say combination which can affect the safety. So if in case it is something which is really bad,
Hmm.
wherein visibility is obscured to the point that you cannot see the runway, obviously you will have to wait for a
Hmm.
longer time. So you will need to carry extra fuel. So it is important that you check that the aircraft is carrying sufficient amount of extra fuel. Plus, apart from that, you need to have certain equipments operational in the aircraft, like for example anti-skid in the aircraft,
Hmm.
depending on the aircraft specific type it can be named differently, but or wipers, because if you don't have wipers operational you can't
Yeah.
see that clearly, or decelerating devices, like whenever you want the deceleration in case of the contaminated runway to be a certain point, then you need to have thrust reversers operational. So all those things are part of the requirements which is mandatory in cases like that. So apart from that, you have to check the en route weather, you have to check the destination weather, which anyways you do it, but in monsoon you have to be very vigilant, because if one of the airport
Hmm.
is really affected because of weather, then many of the aircraft would be diverting, and especially if it's metros like Delhi, Bombay, then
Mm.
the number of arrivals are so many that all the airports around where diversions would take place would get, their bays will not be available. They will not have sufficient number of bays to
Mm.
accommodate all of those aircraft. So like Lucknow, if everybody starts diverting to Lucknow, they don't have so many
Yeah.
bays that all the Delhi flights will they can accommodate those, the diverted ones. Then if you take, Amritsar, or if you take Jaipur, so they need to have more two alternates, you call it, as whenever the destination weather at estimated time of arrival is below minimum required for landing, then you
Hmm.
require two alternates. So that is the reason why there is a requirement of two alternates. Plus, you have to, inform the ATC if in case you are approaching your diversion fuel, which
Hmm.
is minimum required, then you need to inform them in advance so that you can make the timely decision to divert and make appropriate calls to the ATC regarding the fuel. So these things need to be kept in mind, plus performance of the aircraft needs to be calculated if the weather conditions are deteriorated below the
Yes.
when you have departed.
Mhm.
So these things need to be kept in mind when you are flying in bad weather conditions.
Yes, mostly during the monsoon. But now, as we see, airlines in India have expanded their operations towards Europe, like mostly, let's say, Amsterdam, Manchester, and
Right.
all of those things. So I think the weather would be different than what is in India. So in India, mostly cold weather operations are towards the northern part of India, and I would say like snow. Like how often do you like land in like snow conditions? Snow, right?
Not
In India.
really, yeah, not in India, but
Hmm.
if you consider the out overseas
Mhm.
where you have very bad weather. So bad weather in the sense their temperature could be sub-zero,
Mhm.
that's less than zero. So I had operated a flight to Istanbul.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah, that was before I went on maternity leave. That
Okay.
was back in 2023,
Mhm.
and that time had landed in Istanbul, and the temperature was very close to zero.
Mhm.
So while departing from there, we had to do the cold weather operations procedure, wherein the de-icing procedure needs to be carried out, which takes a long time,
Mhm.
and wherein it takes you have to proceed to the de-icing apron, and where the procedure is carried out, and then you have to depart within that holdover
Time
time.
frame. Yeah.
So basically the de-icing procedure is whatever the ice is formed on the airframe, that is especially the wing leading edge and the
Mhm.
entire aircraft. So they remove the ice from the aircraft, so they spray that fumes,
Mhm.
which is called as de-icing fluid. It has certain concentration and intensity depending on what is the outside air temperature and how
Okay.
it is the intensity of
Hmm.
formation of ice. So because of that, they will spray those fumes of the
Mhm.
de-icing fluid, and then once that is sprayed, after that, then aircraft has to depart within the holdover time, which starts from the beginning of de-icing procedure. So
Okay.
let's say
Mhm.
holdover time is 20 minutes,
Hmm.
and if the de-icing procedure starts at 1000 hours, then you have to depart, take off within
10:20.
10:20.
Okay.
So it's not after the end of the procedure.
Mhm.
So these things need to be taken into account,
Mhm.
and because many aircraft are waiting for the
Hmm.
de-icing procedure to be done, so there is a queue and there are delays, so you have to anticipate those and then carry extra fuel also for that,
Mhm.
because otherwise when you are now ready for departure but you are low on fuel because you were waiting for so long
Hmm.
for this procedure to happen, and then now you don't have enough fuel for the whole flight. So then again you can't come back. If you do that, come back for refueling, then again it's going to be a problem, because you would have passed that holdover time,
Mhm.
and then you
Yeah.
have to again
that
go for
that
de-icing.
yeah, that we have to estimate, but
Yes.
yeah, we generally like we have a
Hmm.
rough estimation and what will be a takeoff time and all of those things.
Yeah.
But one time it did happen to me, like it's not about icing, but let's
Hmm.
say it's what I would say when I was in Mumbai, like
Hmm, hmm,
6-8 months ago
hmm,
when I
hmm,
started, just
hmm,
started.
hmm, hmm,
So at that time, I had early morning departure, but
hmm.
due to some I don't know what activity or runway inspection, anything was going on in Mumbai.
Mumbai at
Okay.
night for 1 hour runway is closed,
Yes,
and
yes,
then
that is
it
close, but
opens.
this was after that,
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
mostly around 6-7 o'clock.
Okay,
I
okay.
don't know. There was so once we started taxi and were taxiing to the holding point. I don't know. Something happened, and then there was runway inspection which was going on, and after that we had delay of around 30 minutes on ground.
Okay.
Okay,
Must
and
have
yeah,
some
we didn't.
reported bird strike or something.
Yeah, something
If it
like that.
happens, then.
So yeah, so we had carried extra fuel, okay, but then that all was burned during taxi because like we were not informed that this inspection was going to happen. Okay, and then there's something called as minimum fuel required
fuel
to
that is
take
be
off,
there
right?
before departure.
Yes, so we were inching closer to that, but luckily we had some amount extra than the minimum fuel required, so that we didn't have to taxi back to the bay and refuel and all of those things. So whenever we are doing such kind of operations, let's say this was like not ordinary one, right? Otherwise we would know, okay, if 10 to 15 minutes will be at the holding point and we'll take out, but sometime it takes longer than that due to any activity which takes place. So yeah, we have to keep everything in mind. It's not just like, okay, now we are taxing and whatever, let's say after 1 hour also we can take off. Because fuel is limited and yeah, there are a lot of regulations behind the fuels and everything.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
And as we are speaking about the international flights, so most of our international flights starts in the WCL window. It's like from
WOCL
12 to
circadian.
Yes. Let's say if you're operating, let's say the international flights, which falls between that WCL window, how do you plan your day so that it doesn't affect your health?
Yes, so I have that one of those flights day after early morning, which is so tomorrow I will modify my sleep schedule accordingly. Where in let's say the reporting is 3:30, for example. So considering the transport time of about 40 minutes, okay, 30 to 40 minutes. So to reach there at 3:30. I keep about 5 to 10 minutes margin so that we reach about 5 to 10 minutes early, just in case of any kind of exigencies. So let's say you have to leave home at 2:45. Then before that, another 45 minutes to get ready, right?
Okay, yeah.
So around 2 o'clock, if I have to get, wake
Get
up.
up. Yeah, wake
So that's the time when you are actually in a very deep sleep, but you have to wake up for the flight. So I will try to sleep at around 8:30. Obviously not every time I get sleep, but I avoid any of the caffeine during the day, like what I usually in the evening, if 3 or 4 o'clock, if I drink a cup of coffee on normal days, then that day I would not drink it. I would not even drink in the morning. I'll try to wake up early in the morning tomorrow so that I maybe I'll be able to fall asleep maybe by 8 or 9 o'clock also. That is okay. So so I try to modify it that way, and early dinner so that you're not too heavy before going to sleep. Then when you go to bed, then keeping the closing all the curtains, no light, dark room. So these are the ways in which you try your level best to put yourself in that atmosphere where you can get sleep. So of course not every time you do get, but sometimes if you get it, then you feel better. So at least even if you don't get it by 9 o'clock, then also by 10 or something you will I would get sleep. So then if you sleep for those 4 hours, and on the international flights, which are, I would say, more than 3 hours, any flights which are more than 3 hours, it is allowed to have controlled rest. So it is said that if you in the cruise part of the flight where workload is less, you can legally rest for a period of not more than 40 minutes, but you have to ensure that 30 minutes before top of descent you are awake, and so these are the things which help you to make yourself more aware during the critical phase of flight, so that you are doing your tasks more efficiently and effectively. Okay. So these are the things you can exercise so that you are prepared for your next day WCL flight.
Yes, and once you take a control nap, I feel like you feel fresh.
Yeah,
You see,
that's
okay,
what.
I've just woken up, and
Mm-hmm.
then your focus, your attention
Correct,
to
correct,
details
correct.
is improved than what it was before
So
taking a control
either of the
rest.
two pilots, one of the
Yes.
two pilots
Hmm.
can do it,
Hmm.
and that is definitely in the regulations and it is legal.
Hmm.
And sitting in the cockpit itself, definitely nothing. Considering the narrow body aircraft,
Hmm.
okay. So unlike the wide body aircraft, they have bunk wherein they can rest. So
Yes, but I don't think so. I'll fit in that bunks.
yeah, because of your height.
Yeah.
Yes. So, as you are just starting off for last
Hmm.
1 year, you have started flying in the airline. So, how are you finding yourself from what you a routine you used to follow to keep
Hmm.
yourself fit to now?
Hmm.
How what measures do you take to keep yourself fit in this kind of schedule, which is not like a office desk or desk job or regular timing job?
Uh, so as we know that our schedule is irregular. I mean, not irregular. I would say it's not at the same time
Yeah,
every
it's not
day.
nine
We
to five
wake up.
job.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah. And I'm sure, like every aspiring pilot who have watched previous episodes, they might be familiarized what they are getting into.
Correct.
Okay, and this is not something to, I would say, flex or something like that, but it's just the normal conversation we are having so that you get to know, like in the coming years, once you become an airline pilot, what things you will be experiencing and how you can improve that experience. So as you said, you have a early morning departure day after tomorrow. I am almost the same time. I also have a departure. I'm going to Thailand.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, same thing. I'll plan my day in
Correct.
reverse.
Correct.
Okay. Try to get 6 hours, 7 hours of sleep. So I'll try to wake up early in the morning or maybe take a nap in the afternoon. But I generally don't have caffeine, so I
Okay.
can fall asleep any time of the day, to be
Okay.
honest, like whenever I want to. So
Okay.
that's how I
Okay.
have trained myself.
That's
Okay,
good.
and then yeah, to be fit, it's just like some sort of exercise in a day. Eat good whole foods, like one
Correct.
part of the meal.
Correct.
So it's
Correct.
pretty
Correct.
simple. I don't just complicate it. It's like
Okay.
it's happening. It's
Right.
yeah.
Right.
So far, it's good for me.
Right.
Okay, but yeah,
Yep.
this is how you can plan. I
Correct.
mean,
Correct. So always night flights are something which I
hmm.
really have to plan a bit, because I mean that is something which I do have to calculate and I do dread. Compared to the daytime flights you give me anytime, I will be like, okay,
Yes,
give
yes.
me, I'm
So
okay. But
nighttime,
that is,
as
yeah,
it
because you
call.
generally sleep,
Hmm.
I mean, on normal days when
Hmm.
if there is no flight or whatever, I would
Hmm.
sleep at 11 and then wake up in the morning at 7 or something.
Hmm.
But on the days when you have flight, then you have to definitely plan around that. So I mean that's what applies for me, and yes, I think most. Yeah.
Yes, and with proper planning, doing those flights
Yes.
is okay.
Correct.
Like I
Correct. Correct.
mean, we are doing it,
Absolutely.
and so
Absolutely.
initially when you start flying, it will be difficult. Okay, because we are not used to doing
Used
it.
to.
But once you like do couple of flights, you figure out a strategy which works for you.
Correct.
So
Correct.
everyone
Correct.
has a different strategy. So it's
Correct.
very important to find out your strategy which works well with your rest, and how do
Definitely.
you use that rest so that you feel fresh for the flight.
Correct, correct, correct. As per the new medical circular, which many pilots have a bit
Hmm.
of confusion in that, where the from 1st of July 2025, the medicals which are to be done mandatorily at IAF boarding centers, that is Indian Air Force, boarding center, which is, Delhi AFCME, which is Bangalore IM or Jorhat MEC, and whichever, these are the IF boarding centers. So whichever medicals are due at these centers,
Hmm.
only those medicals, their reports which are to be done during that medical, those reports will be conducted there at the center. But there is no change in doing your medical at civil center if it is due there. Okay, like for example, if you are due for initial medical, yes, you need to do it at either IF boarding center or civil centers which are mentioned like Nanavati or Apollo in Hyderabad or in Chennai, or it is even in Indore. So they have updated the list, so you can do initial at either of these. Now the further renewal, still the age of 55, you can do it at civil centers, provided that you have to you do all those reports at yourself at the NABH accredited laboratory. If in case at one of the medical, if it is mentioned on your assessment that next review at IF boarding center, then only you do it there, and then your reports will be will happen there, like all the tests will happen there. So that is the clarification which many pilots wanted, and they were a bit confused with that whether they should be doing all the tests there or no. It is not like that. So if you are due for the medical there at IF boarding center, then only you need to do the test there.
So it will be written on the assessment, right?
Oh yes, it will be written on the previous assessment.
Okay.
So every fifth medical, like 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, all these medicals are special medicals which you can still do at civil centers. Okay. Except for the 55, 60, those medicals, and after 60 all the medicals, and then between 55 to 60 also in between you can do it at civil. So the thing is, it's about what's written in your previous assessment and whether you are due for it as per the circular.
Okay.
So in your career of pilot, during the training as well as a line pilot, what are the best advices you have received till now?
So the recent one which I have received, it is also mentioned in the recent F1 movie, is slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
Okay.
That is number one. Second is treat weather as God, never go against it. Third one is know the why. Fourth one is safety first. And the fifth one is get a mentor. Okay.
Great.
So these are the 5 advices which I remember until now. So, every day you fly with different captains, they have their own knowledge to share with you. Everyone has their own tips and tricks to fly the aircraft. And you discuss with them, okay, why do you do it? What is the reason? And then you understand it and then you implement in your flying, which improves your flying.
Correct.
Okay. So that is how every day you work upon it and every day you become a good, or every day you become a better pilot.
Correct.
Because as we know, a good pilot is always learning. So you go to a flight, you learn something new in each and every flight. So starting with number 1, which is slow is smooth, smooth is fast. So this I got it from one of our friends. So whenever we do training, okay, we in back of our mind we think that we are very slow, okay, and then we try to rush on the procedures. Okay, so let's say after taxi we have a flow, so we are trying to do the flow, but if we try to do it fast when we are new, we tend to forget one or two things, and then it takes more time to rectify what we have forgotten.
Correct.
In that flow.
Correct.
Okay, so now that is taking more of our time than what has to be done normally in the pursuit of doing it fast.
Correct. Absolutely.
Okay, so whenever you're doing anything in an aircraft, let's say any procedure you're following in an aircraft, you have peace of your mind, read line by line, do it slowly without any errors, do it one time, you're done. Okay, so that is slow, that is smooth, and that is fast than actually rushing.
Correct.
So that is a very good advice to anyone who's starting their flight training, because initially people tend to rush a lot. You might also have noticed it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that is one advice which I really like. And then second one is treat weather as God, never go against it.
Yes.
So actually it's also that attitudes of pilot also, and that thing is the macho attitude. Okay, what will the
Correct,
weather do
correct.
to me?
Correct.
This is a very good aircraft. I'll land in so and so winds. Even if it's gusty, I'll go and try to perform an approach. So this was given to be by one of my instructor when I was training in the US. So I mean, Florida has a variety of weather as well.
Correct.
They have clear sky as well,
Correct,
right? But whenever there is weather, it gets bad. So
Bad
mostly in the
weather.
month of September, you have tornadoes
Okay.
hitting the eastern coast of Florida. So that's when he told me this: treat weather as God, never go instead.
Correct.
Because let's say in your weather radar, you are seeing some weather and it's marked in red. And now you want to get to your destination on the time. You don't want to take a, like, let's say, deviation and increase your time to get there. So if you make a decision to go inside that, you don't know what's the weather like. The radar will only give an indication. Okay, this is, suppose this is, yeah, it's a prediction, right? So it can be good, it can be bad as well. Okay, so from that day I was like, okay, every time I do, I'll never go into the weather. I'll try to make the flight as smooth as possible, as safe as possible. So safety is first, which is the next one.
Correct.
Okay. Whenever we fly an aircraft, we always think about safety first rather than anything else. Okay.
Absolutely.
But with safety, there should be efficiency as well. It should not be, okay, just to be safe, we taxi at 5 knots and take our sweet time to reach the taxi.
Yes.
Okay. Safety is first, but that doesn't mean we forget efficiency. Okay. So that is the safety first. And then the next one is know the why. So whenever we are in a flight, we perform various actions starting from the engine startup till the time we turn off the engines. Okay. We press a lot of buttons. We program a lot of things on the MCDU. So why we do it? Okay. So let's say there are 2 engines in an aircraft. So if we start engine number 1 first, what is the reason? Why is engine number 1 started first and why engine number 2 is not started first? So know the why.
Correct.
Okay. So that what it says. So every action you perform in a cockpit, you should know the reason why you're doing it, so that you're crystal clear that why we should be doing it, why we should not be doing it.
What is the consequence
Yes,
if you do something else? Like,
So that is it. And then the next one is get a mentor. Okay. So now this is an advice which will reduce your training curve. I mean, the duration of your training. Okay. So there's a quote again for this get a mentor. What took them years to get can take you months if you have a mentor. Correct. So generally when a student starts, let's say an aspiring pilot starts to research about pilot training. So there are 2 things which I have observed until now as we are guiding students. So firstly, they see where the training is fast. Second thing, they see where the training is the cheapest. Okay. These are the 2 primary factors when an aspiring pilot decides that he wants to start his training.
Correct.
In the first option, I want to complete the CPL in the fastest time, let's say 6 months, 8 months, and that thing. So in that case, most of the student end up in a wrong flight school.
Correct.
Okay. So whenever the flight school approaches you and says that, okay, your training will be done in 6 months, but generally it's not the case. There might be some flight school doing it. Okay. That is completely fine. But then as we have done,
unrealistic.
It's very ambitious, I would say. And I wouldn't recommend anyone. Let's say if I were to start my training today, okay, after having this all knowledge, I wouldn't complete my training in 6 months because I want to, first thing, I want to learn.
Correct.
Okay. Second thing, I want to enjoy the journey as well. Because when you complete your training in 6 months, it's just pushing unnecessarily for your training. Okay. Now let's say if weather is bad, then also you take some chance. Okay, we'll go in here, we'll go between the clouds and we'll climb up ahead. There's no cloud, the ceiling is too low. but above, let's say, 7,000 feet, it's clear and all of those things. So it's unnecessarily pushing yourself to
Correct.
complete the CPL rather than focusing on learning and completion.
Correct.
So ideal time would be around 10 to 12 months to complete the CPL. Enjoy the journey as well, and complete your training as well. Learn,
Absolutely.
have fun with friends as well. Because when you go to a ground school, when you go to a flight school, you make friends which are for lifetime. And
Correct.
let's say 5 years from that time, everyone will be in the airline, and you'll be meeting them at random city, in
Correct,
random
correct,
hotel, right?
Correct.
So that's how it is. So, and initially when you get a mentor, okay, how does it reduce the time is with proper guidance. Okay, so let's say if someone is just cleared their 12 standard, okay, if someone reaches out to me, okay, I want to start, what is the first step to take? I'll immediately say, okay, get your class 2 done, okay, and join a ground school. And definitely I have done it from CNTAA, and we have got amazing results. And I myself, I was a student of CNTAA. So that's the place to do your ground classes. It's
Correct.
tried and tested, the best
Correct.
quality of training.
Correct.
And once you get your class 2, once you are enrolled at a ground school, apply for computer number. 3 months later, you get your class 1 done. By that time, you clear your papers. And once you get your computer number, start your flight school application. So
Correct,
that
correct.
period of research and analyzing with students on an average takes 6 months. So when a student thinks to join a ground school, they'll take 2-3 months slowly. Once they start ground school, they complete their papers. After they complete their papers, they try to look for a flight school.
Correct.
Another 6 months. So if you see, that whole process in a way takes 1 year of time.
Correct.
Okay, so that is why having a mentor is very important, so that you progress or take steps quickly and decisively.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct. Absolutely.
so that's my 5 advices which I have got until now. But as you are a captain, okay,
Very
and
well
you have
said.
been, yeah, thank you. So as you are a captain and you have been flying for a couple of years, I would say almost a decade, I'm sure you must be having the best 5 advices which you got until now. So I would like to know that.
Yes, so I would really, stick to certain rules, or, some rules are given by Airbus, or some rules are, said, or some from the captains who have flown earlier, and written and read at various places. So the very, very first rule which I would go with is fly, navigate, and communicate. That's the first one. It's very important to stick to this if you want to fly safely and efficiently. The second one is SOPs are written in blood. So whenever you fly, it is very important to follow the SOPs, that is standard operating procedures, in order to stick to certain rules, so that you are not making the mistakes which are not reversible. So that is important. Third thing, stay humble, and there is no place for ego in aviation, because here, if somebody is egoistic, things can go really bad, and other way around. Fourth, good pilots learn from their own mistakes, and great pilots learn from others' mistakes. So it is why is emphasis is given a lot on some incidents or accidents investigation, so that the pilots know that what had happened, and if there is anything that can be learned from there, is what needs to be avoided in their own life. So that is the fourth one. And fifth is always, as I think you also said that, but I also would stick to that, always prioritize first safety, thereafter comfort, and then efficiency.
Okay.
Because you have to ensure that the aircraft is safe. That is first. Of course, you have to take certain calculative risks, but those risks are required to be taken, because if you want the aircraft to be safe, then just park the aircraft on ground and sit there.
Yeah.
That is what is the most safe operation. But you can't do that, right?
Yeah.
So safety, thereafter comfort and efficiency in that order. So we'll just go more detail into each of these advices. So the very first one, that's fly, navigate and communicate. So this is the first golden rule which is given by Airbus to pilots. So that is applicable to I would say not only in flight but in your life. Instead of fly, just know what you have to do at that point. Okay. So first of all, when you say fly, navigate and communicate, so anytime there is any kind of unusual situation or when you are in flight, know that you are in the control of the airplane, that is fly. And that is understanding that you are maintaining the primary flight parameters in their normal range and in their normal envelope, and then you will look at navigate, that where you are, where you want to go, and where you're supposed to be. So these things you really need to know. Then communicate. Now communicate is not only with the other crew member but also with the ATC, with the cabin crew, with the passengers, with the company, all these things. Okay, so you have to go in this order: fly, navigate and communicate. Then the second one, SOPs are written in blood. So we have lots and lots of SOPs, that is standard operating procedures, and the ones which are like really required in the day-to-day routine of every day life or every flight, I would say, they need to be followed in the sequence. If there is any lapse in the SOP, like for example, if the engines are started, engineer is on the ground, and then he has to get disconnect from the aircraft, then then he has to show that yes, he has disconnected and says bye. Then after you start taxiing, as a pilot. So the lapse in this procedure has in the past led to a person or engineer or technician getting sucked into the engine, which is that's why it is said that SOPs are written in blood. Okay, so this is an example.
Yeah, it's like any incident which has happened in the past.
Yes,
that's the reason the SOP needs to be revised. So if there is an SOP, there has been any event that has occurred in the past. Correct. Very important to follow.
Correct. Then third thing, stay humble, and there is no place for ego in the sky. So no matter whatever is the experience level, no matter whatever is the designation, it is important to stay humble and be receptive to other person's inputs as well. You never know what inputs can come from the even lesser experienced pilot or eyes, and that is to be taken in a positive way rather than thinking, no, I am great, or I have this experience, what can the other pilot tell me? No, I am not going to listen. That's not the attitude which is acceptable here, because here it's a two crew cockpit and it's important to have a synergy in the cockpit and not have that ego in the cockpit. So that's the third one. Fourth one is good pilots learn from their mistakes. Definitely, you should always improve and learn from what mistakes you have done in the previous few hours and improve the next day from the previous day. That is definitely required. And great pilots learn from others' mistakes. So, others' mistakes, basically, there would be, certain events and their investigations and their findings which tells that these are the instances that have happened and what pilots ended up doing. And then if you've read it, so that if this happens, what are you supposed to do?
Yes.
So that is the reason why there are certain internal maybe documents or even incident investigations which are surfaced and which are required to be gone through and read. So that is also very important. Then the another one, that is safety first. No matter what, you have to ensure at any point of time the operations are safe. As I said, that yes, there are calculative risks which we have to take. Like for example, at destination, if it is raining, you don't just cancel the flight, right?
Yes.
We go, correct? We go and we take more fuel. We make sure that if it is the visibility is above the minimum required for landing, then only we will commence the approach. And then if there are strong winds, we take our and we follow certain procedures so that the landing is still made safe. Then make sure that the aircraft is stabilized and stays in that envelope, and we discuss the actions in case if there is any requirement of go around. So all these are the mitigating actions, and all these are the actions which we take and prepare ourselves in order to make the operation safe. But we don't just stand at place of departure and say, okay, fine, I will not go. That's not how it is, right? Because calculative risks are required to be taken. Correct. And then passenger comfort, of course, that is kept in mind. And that keeping that in mind, we take weather deviations, we take whatever comfortable temperature, comfortable pressure in the cabin, followed by that efficiency. Of course, fuel doesn't come for free. So
very
for
expensive,
airline to run the operations effectively and efficiently, there are certain measures which still keep the flight safe, and we ensure that efficiency is achieved so that the fuel is also saved, wherever it is required and wherever it is possible to be saved, and the airline can also get profits. So because once the airline is profitable, then only the employees will be getting their salaries, as well as the operations can keep running. So in this order, we always prioritize the flight.
That's very well explained, and
Thank you.
I'm pretty sure that now you don't have just 5, but you have 10 best advices that we have shared with you, and I hope this advices, like, you can learn from this advices and apply in your life whenever the situation comes. Yes, and as we were speaking about the safety, okay, it just reminded me of the Air India 171. The report is out, the primary report is out. Actions, what happened during that phase after takeoff until the crash were mentioned. So, what do you think about it, or what are your views regarding that?
So here, now this is a preliminary report. The final report will take a year.
Okay.
Here, the investigation is about, at this point, what happened exactly. There are still some open questions which are not yet answered. Now, in the wild imagination, any pilot, you think would, in experienced pilots, okay, both were very well experienced as a first officer, as a captain, and as a experienced pilot, would anyone move the fuel control switch from run to cut off at the time of takeoff? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, so as we are flying every day, I don't think so.
Have you ever mistakenly or deliberately shut off the car at about, let's say, 100 kilometer per hour? Now, in 2018, there was a bulletin by Boeing and FAA approved, which says that there is disconnection of the locking mechanism of the fuel control switch,
Mm-hmm.
which is possible on many types of Boeing
Okay.
aircraft. Okay. So now, when maybe everyone might have seen a lot of, reels and videos wherein this fuel control switch, this is a, lever which is a
Spring
deliberate
loaded, yeah.
action, and that needs to be lifted up and then, moved.
Mm-hmm.
It is similar in Airbus also, it is, but yeah, here. So this is a spring loaded, you move it from one position, lift it up, and then move to the other position, and then it goes down. It's a spring loaded, right? So this bulletin says that there is disconnection of the locking mechanism
Okay.
from run to cutout.
Mm-hmm.
Now that is something which is again not answered, which is, let's see if it is answered in the final report.
Yes, as this is a primary report, we just have some glimpse of what happened in that crash,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
And in some time, or let's say couple of months, there'll be more investigation done on this report, and we'll get a more detailed version what exactly happened. So I think we will have to wait for that detailed investigation report, and then we'll be able to know the actual reason what happened.
Multiple billion-dollar companies with their monetary interests versus pilots who are dead, who are no more. Who's gonna win?
It's quite
question.
and it's quite unfair, I would say, as of now.
Absolutely.
But let's wait for the investigation report. Let's see what is discussed in that, and based on that, we'll come to know the actual reason why it happened.
Absolutely. Yep.
I think that's it for today's podcast, and thank you for watching this podcast until now. And the advices which we have shared, okay, that's on the personal level, okay, and that's what I feel that was very helpful to me in my career. And like Capt.Neha said, that's the advices that she have received in her career, and she feels the same. So everyone's life is different. Everyone will relate to some advices given by a person, okay, be it captain, first officer, or any person related to aviation. So we just wanted to share these advices with you so that you can relate it and start your pilot journey in the best possible manner and reach the airline cockpit soon. So thank you for watching till now, and see you in the next one.
Absolutely. Take the best from these advices, and I hope it will be useful in your life. If you need any guidance on any of the pilot training queries, feel free to reach out to us, and we are there to help you. Thank you very much for watching.
Bye bye.